Hi there, welcome back. Welcome back to this Philips B3X69A. And I left off last having aligned the IF, where you saw very little change. Rather disappointing, but I did a quick experiment on the RF alignment, and as far as it's possible with this kind of display, as you can see, I checked a few points on here and it really was pretty close. So similarly to the IF transformers, it seems nobody messed with us. I did a bit of a test on reception, and I'll show you that, see what you think. It's not too bad. This is not the best, the most sensitive receiver I've worked on, by no means, but it's not too bad. So let's see what we can get.
Se ampliarán a 15 ciclos. Sabré también Jordi Martiola. Jordi. Hola, muy buenas. ¿La idea es que sea cerrada o que no sea cerrada nunca?
Tratando si hacerlo en Melilla o hacerlo en Granada, que fue donde se firmó el edicto de expulsión, pero al final nos dio el gobierno local todo el apoyo técnico para poder hacerlo presente con las medidas COVID.
，les opérations de la Chine au premier trimestre de 2021 sont dans la dynamique de la croissance.
Foudaré n'a pas reconnu cette équipe infaillible, cette fois championne d'Europe, dont les...
Halten wir fest, mein Vertrauen gegenüber einem anderen Menschen rechtfertigt nicht, ich zurück und von ihm alles ungeprüft übernehme.
En cuanto a su escritor, el Zhejiang nos reveló
Des matchs âpres, durs, difficiles, et je pense que, ouais, préparation du rythme et un peu d'énergie.
Une passation de pouvoir, le...
تعبئة الطعام في مرطبانات نظيفة.
وذلك وفرح به بخلاف إعلامه.
ويدخلوا يعني شركات
لابورت مليحة تمام العارضة. سيتي بلاك
وحدي عايش لاباس.
como un incendio en una época de alegría, pero por otra parte, la mayor parte de ellos estaban solos en residencia. Y yo pienso, digo, ¿por qué no pregunté más? ¿Por qué no le pregunté más a mi padre?
Medio de una vorágine, por ejemplo, hablando de Antonio David.
¿Por qué he dejado
del líder de la extrema derecha española? Y escriben, oh, pero están tan buenos.
Pero insistimos que estamos en los minutos
un aficionado cómo puede estar a favor.
Eso muchas veces.
O sea, tú tendrías sexo con alguien de extrema derecha.
Como dijo Miguel Frigel, y antes de verlo explain, aunque pases una mala racha.
Si me mata, me da la vida. Es lo que es Correa. Y hay mucha gente que ahora se subirá al barco de Correa, pero en el fondo...
Los equipos que pasan a cuartos de final, cómo sería el sistema de competición.
شكرا لك الغالية ومرحبا بك.
Semana terminando de perfilar cuando esto lleva por Carreño y por Torrejón.
J'étais petit, mais on n'a jamais perdu contact et une forme en fait exceptionnelle.
J'allais dire Hollywood Boulevard, non, c'est à West Hollywood, c'est à Los Angeles.
Yes, I think it is. They are very different issues. Liz, we know that the nations are going
عن ملاحقة الرجاء إلى الصف الثاني مناصفة بطبيعة الحال والفوز على يوسفية درشيد مساء اليوم. من بين
Now that everything's been suitably dismantled, there's not much to it. All you do is take the back off, as you saw, and this thing comes apart. Now, the actual casing, as I said, is in pretty good condition, except it needs a good polish. This one rod, brassy, probably needs a polish as well. In the casing, on the ground, on the base, there's a metal shield, aluminium sheet. That's all grubby. I need to replace that. I'll use some of that aluminium tape and redo that. There's another smaller one at the top here, which is the antenna, the internal antenna. I'll do that as well. As we saw earlier, this speaker is completely dead, so there's nothing to it. I can't redo this. I'm not able to get a refoaming kit here in Madeira. I'll keep this. Maybe I can do that in the future, but in the meantime, I've got an alternative which will fit in there. It's from a Nordmende, and I've determined that the characteristics are about the same. That's probably a little bit more beefy, but it's from the same era, and I've actually connected this up to the radio. It sounds pretty good, so I'll be putting that in there. I'm not saying this is definite. I can always replace it if I can refoam that one or find one exactly like that, but this will fit fine in there. So the next step is to get cracking. Now what I've done here is I've removed those screws that fit in there to hold the speaker. I'm going to be remarking. Actually, this thing seems to have had square speaker as well, rectangular. There's other holes that were covered up here, which is a bit strange. But there's those, it's like a screw, but it's got a flat head. And you put it on this side, you gum it up on the top, so that it doesn't show through the cloth, and then you can fit the speaker on the other side. So I'll be doing that for this, and I'll then have to recoat this this side with that cloth that I've found, which is pretty similar. I've used it before on a Philips. But in the meantime, first things first, this thing doesn't really need much cleaning. It just needs some polishing. And I'll be using some car polish. This is stuff I get in Madeira. I'm sure where you live, there's probably tons more options. This is just a car polish, very simple. It's just wiped on, let it dry, and then polish it off. Just a lot of elbow grease, a lot of polishing, and the Bakelite normally comes out quite well. So I'm going to get cracking, get back to you as soon as I've got that polished. And here she is, polished, ready to move forward. Not 100%, but 99%. That's good enough. Now, I've actually made the holes to fit the speaker on, put the screws through. Those screws are the headless type, and they're flush mounted, and then I put some putty or some filler to smooth out the holes. So this side is the side that's going to have the cloth on it, so you don't want bumps on there. And this is the cloth. So I'm going to lay it out, glue it on, cut it out, and I'll show you that when I've got that ready. Okay, once again, I've jumped a few steps ahead than those I promised. Here's the result. The cloth is on there. This is a cloth that I've used on Philips radios before. It's as close as I can get over here. I know that you can actually get the exact same cloth nowadays. There's a lady in, I think she's in Holland, and you send her a piece of the old cloth and she can actually reweave a sample. But time constraints on this one don't allow that. As I mentioned, my friend is quite urgently needing this. I'm not sure what for. But here's the result. The bodies come out very well. The polishing is fine. I think you could probably do just one more step of polishing and get this thing really piano finishing. And it's not quite there, but it's as good as it's going to get. It was in pretty good condition originally. The buttons and knobs and everything else are fine. Reception is actually as expected. It's pretty good with the MIDI whip antenna and pretty useless without it, as I've shown in the just previously. So we're receiving pretty well on long wave. In fact, surprisingly well on long wave. Medium wave is very busy at night. Short wave 1, that's the higher frequencies, very good reception. And shortwave 2, lower frequencies up to about 5.1 megahertz. So at the end of the medium wave to going forward into the shortwave band, that's the first one. That is always inactive. That's normal. So we've got acceptable reception on all the bands. Now there's obviously one thing left. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to create a sacrilegious intervention here. But it looks like I'm going to have to wait for a while because the stuff I've ordered has not arrived, and I'm going to be getting this radio back. So I believe we'll be seeing this together again when I do what I intend to do as an add-on to this radio. As it stands, this is the back. This thing, if you might have noticed, this thing has got a patina on there that's not dirt. This is a strange one because it's not dirt and it's not rust. So it's kind of difficult to identify. I could have painted over it, but I think that would have looked really crummy. So I left it as is. I've got the shielding on the bottom, a new layer of aluminium sheet or tape, which is acting as a shield, and that's connected to the ground of the radio. The speaker's on there. It fits fine. The antenna's been soldered to the top there. This thing can move around quite freely to the extent that it can move, and it looks like everything is ready to go. So as I said, until we see this one again for my little surgery, which I believe I will be showing you, I want to wrap this up. This is a rather unusual restoration, not the way I normally do things, but I had some time constraints on here. So I want to thank you for your company. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed this, click like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now and stay safe.